Well, hello there, welcome to Japan for round 15 of my F1 2012 career mode in Season 1. We're at Suzuka, and here's a quick guide of the track.
Okay, a lap of Suzuka. Here we go. On the build-up towards this lap, make sure you take a nice wide entry into that final chicane. That allows you to build up the speed nicely onto the start-finish straight. One of the best circuits in the world coming up here from inside the cockpit of a Formula 1 car. DRS open and the curves available as well. Down the hill in towards turn 1. Hold your breath and hang on in there as you feel the G-force build up on your body as the corner tightens. On the exit, use a bit of the curb, and now this is where the tricky bit starts. Use that momentum and flick the car left to right and then left to right again. It's all about momentum here and change of direction at high speed. You don't want to back out of it in this complex of corners. As we head up the hill now towards the Degner curves, bring the car back over to the left-hand side. Don't be greedy though and carry too much speed in, because that curb on the left's waiting for you. Down 2 more gears, Degner 2. Use all that curb available. Under the bridge we go towards turn 11. Straighten the car up and then slow it all back down into second gear. Minimum speed of around 50 miles an hour here. Watch out for the traction, not too much curb on the exit there, because you want to keep that momentum as we climb up the hill now towards the spoon curve. The right-hander, you feel the G-force on your body, and then slow it down for the left-hander, the first part of spoon curve, and then it slows down even further, tightens up at the apex, but you need to carry that speed, because once again the track rises up the hill into 6th and then 7th. DRS is open at this point, and use the curves as well as the 130R corner comes up. 7th gear, full throttle, hang on in there and hold your breath. Use all the track available. This is an overtaking opportunity as well come Sunday, but slow it all back down into second gear. Flick the car right and then left over the curb on the left-hand side and feed the car out using all of the track available around the outside of the circuit, and that's a lap of Suzuka.
There we go, this is my qualifying lap. Good old Williams has carried me into Q3, and we're looking to get 10th or above, I think, as it says on my little on-screen display. Grosjean has set the fastest lap already. His first sector's 36.1, Hamilton's 35.9. Alonso has gone faster than that. So Alonso has set the fastest lap so far, 137.414. And I'm not going cleanly through those first few corners. Could be better, but my first sector time is only just about half a second slower than Alonso, which is looking good so far. So come up to this hairpin now. It's very awkward braking zone, this one. It's quite easy to lock up when you're braking for this one, but I managed to get through okay. If you get the line right, you seem to have a better time of it than if you get the line wrong. That's what I've found anyway. If you approach it from a different angle, it's easier to lock up your brakes. So going slightly wide there, and the entry to spoon, coming round for a slightly better exit. And then there's this long sort of curvy straight up to the 130R. You should be able to take that at full speed. I very much doubt you could do it with DRS open unless you're a Red Bull in the real world, but still half a second down Alonso, that's manageable. Slow it right down for this Casio triangle, this famous chicane where Senna and Prost had their disagreement, shall we say. So there we go, 4th. 4th of 137.8, 3.7, 4/10 slower than Alonso, but that is very good for where we are. We managed to beat Vettel for one thing. The clouds in the sky look a bit ominous, but we have to deal with it when the rain comes, if it comes. And here we go for the Suzuka Japanese Grand Prix. Not a great start. Didn't make up any ground. I'm actually losing ground now a little bit as Vettel goes around the outside, but I managed to hold him off just long enough to try and maybe get on the inside of Hamilton. I just wanted to make sure I was avoiding any collisions there, but I ended up losing even a bit more ground, and then Grosjean slips past into 4th. So not a brilliant start. We actually slipped down into 5th, but you know, 13 laps, still a bit of time. Hopefully I can make up some ground, especially in this opening lap where they're slightly slower. Maybe I can make a move into this hairpin now as we go under the bridge. Might be a bit too far away, or I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't expecting him to be that slow, so I went straight into the back of him there. Let's see if I can maybe go around. Nope, no, I can't go around the outside. He's closed the door on that one. Sort of giving him a look, going onto the grass because I can't control it properly. But that's just me. I'm just so wary of, you know, having an accident. I mean, these AI cars are obviously more easy to predict than, say, human player or multiplayer, where they could just, you know, slow right down, and you end up ramming them and getting penalty. But hey ho, let's see if we can have a look now. Locking up the front right tyre there. But after lap 1, we have actually lost a place. I don't say that very often. But what can you do? Ah, Rosberg. You're down in 12th. Remember, I have to beat this guy in as many races as possible before the end of the season. Our first race against him in Italy didn't go to plan as I crashed on the opening laps. But recovered, but not enough to catch up to him. Second race in Singapore, I got the podium, where I beat him. So it's currently standing at 1-1 in the drivers' rivalry. So if we can make this 2-1 to me, that would be excellent. Only 5 more rounds after this one. We've got 16, 17, 18, 19 and 20. I think that's right. So yeah, the more I can get ahead the better, and then I have more of a guarantee of a contract next year. But the way the Mercedes heats the tyres up, it's a bit of a concern. But I do want to switch teams, just for a bit of variety. I don't even mind if Williams finishes ahead of Mercedes in the Constructors. I still want to change teams. Maintain a bit of a challenge rather than just going at the front all the time. Oh, managing to get down the inside there, taking some bollards with me as I go. But the main thing was just to avoid having an accident. So that worked out okay. Managed to get ahead of Grosjean. Even if it was very messy, nearly got ahead of Hamilton as well, but it wasn't to be. But there we go. You're just going to have to excuse me for a minute while I blow my nose.
Okay, you have to pass him. You have to pass him.
Sorry about that. My engineer said I have to pass him, apparently. Well, I have to pass all of these guys to get up to my objective of second. Well, trying to get as close as possible around the hairpin, going around the outside of this quite high speed section. But managing to just get around the outside, close the door on him and go around into Spoon. Now I need to catch Webber as well now. Things seem to be going quite well for us at the moment. Let's see if we can hold on to this podium position. Just need to make a quick note of where I where I blew my nose, because I need to edit that out. Hopefully you won't hear that. And as I go wide at that chicane, Hamilton finds his way back past me, which is slightly annoying. It's my own mistake. I was trying to be a bit greedy, I think. So Alonso sets the fastest lap of a 140.6. I believe he's in the lead. Yeah, I think he might be running away with this one. Unlike the real life race where he was taken out by Kimi Räikkönen. But that was, I think that was probably more Alonso's fault than Kimi's. So Hamilton's getting away from us slightly. A bit, maybe I can catch up a little bit in these final two sectors, because sector 1 with those curves is a very tricky sector to get right. You have to be very precise with the lines into the corners. If you get one wrong, it sort of messes you up for the rest of them. So, and that's where you lose a lot of time. See if I can catch up on him going around the spoon. So that seems to have worked okay. We're a bit closer than we were. So let's see if we can maybe make a move into the chicane once we go around 130R. We're half a second behind. Maybe we can get DRS if we're close enough on the main straight if we don't make a move here, which we won't. Front right tyre trying to lock up as usual, but I think we should have DRS once we go past this line, and yes we do. And they want me to pit this lap anyway, so try and make the most of this lap while we can. DRS not really effective because I lost probably a bit too much time on the exit of the chicane going down the pit straight. And that McLaren has a very good top speed anyway, so it was a bit hard to catch him up in the Williams. But we're doing well for what we're driving anyway. We're in P4, sort of doing better than I would be expecting. Oh, we got Grosjean behind us as well. Just be careful of him. I'm waiting to come up within our DRS zone, but he's 1.5 seconds behind, so shouldn't worry too much right this moment, especially when we're about to go into the pits anyway. It's getting right up close and personal with Hamilton. He knows I'm here, he must do. Trying to make some gains going around the spoon. The exit wasn't perfect, so he got away a little bit. But I am now in his slipstream. Got to be careful I don't get a bit of understeer. Yep, that's what happens when you get in someone's slipstream. You get slight understeer, even at that distance. So I've got to peel into the pits now. Whoa, 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 whoa. That won't have helped my cause. Nearly losing control of it coming into the pits. But now it's up to the pit crew. I have no control whatsoever, which is unfortunate. Let's go, let's get those prime tyres on.
Exit now.
4.4 seconds, not fantastic,
Watch out for traffic as you rejoin the track.
but it's okay. Ooh,
You have no more scheduled pit stops, so look after
having a
your
little
tyres.
fight with DeResta, trying to go up the inside of him, or defending the inside. Ah, I see, that's what happened. Yeah, a bit of contact with DeResta there. A little bit messy, sort of sent me off wide onto the gravel almost, but just about held on to it. And what I meant by that's what happened is that I know what the result is at the end of the race, and that's what happened as well. Yeah, as you can see, it's going slightly wrong. Now I'm going to flick it up to Rich to try and make up some ground. Got to be careful because there's crap on my tyre.
Car behind has minor front wing damage.
And that's why Button is now up alongside me, but I should be okay to get in the way of him. But yeah, got to be so careful when you get gravel on your tyres. It can reduce your grip quite considerably in some situations, especially when you're heavily braking into a hairpin. So, thanks to that altercation with DeResta, we've now managed to fall back 2 places down, and while everyone's going into the pits, I'm going to lose a little bit of ground. But trying to make up that ground while people go into the pits. It's going to put me on a little bit of back foot here. Rosberg is currently in the pits as well.
There are quite a few cars in the pits right now. Watch out for cars exiting the pits.
I think there he is. Yes, there's Mr. Rosberg.
Brilliant overtake.
Now,
Push.
The race is on. I've got to make sure I get past him. If anything else happens today, I've got to make sure I get past him. So not a brilliant line into those first two curves, so I've lost a bit of ground on him. But I'm hanging on. I've readjusted my line a little bit, so it's a little bit better. Hopefully I should be able to make up a little bit of ground on him going into the Degner curves. Oh, someone gone off. That's Maldonado, I believe. I think I saw the Venezuelan flag. And so I make up another place by default. I try and make an inside move on Rosberg. Worked out alright. Now, next on the list is Di Resta, after our coming together in the first sector on the last lap. I'm going to try and make a move, but I backed out a little bit because I knew that may have ended badly. Don't want to take off a fellow Brit anyway. So, let's try and get into the slipstream. Oh, got a massive advantage here. Straight line speed against that Force India. Force India not doing so well in this game. Oh, he's moving up on Grosjean.
The gap to the car in front is less than a second. Let's try and get past in the DRS zone.
Yeah, so I got DRS on him. The reason I went into the back of him because I still can't always predict how early they're going to brake. Because personally, I would have braked a bit later than that. So I'm almost as bad as Grosjean, whacking into people. But never mind, everyone's still on track. No one lost any bits of wing or rear wing, so we'll take it. I mean, it's just a game after all. What do you expect? But main thing is we are ahead of Rosberg. Di Resta's fallen off the horizon somewhere. Must have got overtaken by Rosberg. Just holding on to the back Grosjean. Maybe I can make a move into this hairpin here.
Okay, it looks like the car ahead is trying to create a gap. He's running full race.
Try and cut back on him.
Power.
Try and get a better run out of there. Didn't quite work because he was in the way a little bit. If I didn't tap him on the back, maybe I would have got a better run on him. But saying that, the move is done anyway, so not a real problem. So we've made it back up to 6th. Can we catch Vettel in time? It's possible. I mean, there he is up the road. And we got a pretty quick car.
You've got a small lead over Grosjean.
But now everyone is probably going up to the rich fuel mixture, so everyone's going to be that little bit faster. I just got to try not to mess up in these final few laps. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to make my objective. It takes something spectacular drive from me to get up to 2nd. Because judging by how far ahead they are, it's going to be a bit of an ask. So while we got a lull in the driving or the overtaking stakes, not a lot has been going on in the world of F1, to be honest. There's a few things going on behind the scenes, but nothing major. No driver announcements, just rumours going along. Potentially the missing Grand Prix from next year, which was meant to be New Jersey, could be filled by Austria and the A1 ring, which Red Bull will actually own now. So that could make a possible comeback. It hasn't been on the calendar for a good number of years now. And to be honest, I would quite like to drive that track again in the game, so should be an interesting one if it goes back on the calendar. But the final decision is not going to be made until after Christmas anyway. As soon as people are on holiday, the relevant people. The Turkish Grand Prix will not be returning to the calendar next year. The Turkish government say they will not be funding it, so that will definitely not be on the calendar next year unless they have a miraculous change of heart. Not that I'm too worried about it. I like the Turkish circuit, but it wasn't really one of my favourites. So at the moment, it looks likely that it will be Austria until I hear of anything more concrete. We also had the prize giving in Istanbul. I mean, talking of Turkey, the FIA prize giving of the World Championship trophy to Sebastian Vettel, constructors to Christian Horner, and second and third place to Alonso and Raikkonen respectively. Plus whatever else was going on in the award ceremony, I don't know. So a little mess up from me on the second Degner curve has caused Grosjean to get past, which is annoying to say the least. And now I've got crap on my tyres, so I've got to be careful going around this hairpin. But well, I'd be more concerned if Grosjean was my rival. But as long as I keep Rosberg behind me, I should be okay. I mean, I'm not going to get up to second now after what happened then. But now, hopefully I can get a few more points so I can catch Grosjean up again. But hey ho.
Okay, it looks like the car ahead is trying to create a gap, running full revs, maximum power.
As I say, everyone's running full revs or rich mix anyway, so they're going to be that little bit faster.
Grosjean's next, line him up for a pass.
Still having a slight problem with locking the front right tyre going into the chicane. But we've closed the gap slightly, I think. Yeah, it now needs to be soon. This is probably the only guy I can catch up now. Vettel is being held up by whoever that is in front of him, but he's not getting past, so that's why you can still sort of see him in the distance. But my task is to catch Grosjean within the next 3 laps. So yeah, let's see if we can do that. Made a few too many mistakes in this race to be actually challenging for a podium position. Like now, I'm having a bad time with it. I don't know what it is, but I think I might have lost a bit of concentration. A little bit, and now I'm having trouble getting around the second Degner curve, which in turn is going to cost me in the hairpin. Usually you don't lose a lot of time in the hairpin, but the way I've gone into the gravel on the tyres, which is still a little bit there, means I'm going to lose a hell of a lot of time compared to Grosjean, who has just disappeared now into the distance. But I'm glad it hasn't rained. Rain is still a pain in the arse as it ever. It always has been. I've just about got used to it a little bit. Still can't drive as fast as the others though. But that's for another race, because this one looks like it's going to be 100% dry. Only 2 laps to go now, as Alonso sets the fastest lap, 1:40.5, so he's obviously still in the lead. A really good race for him today. I think the title fight is between Alonso and Hamilton this year. In this game, Hamilton actually doing quite well, not having the reliability issues that they have in the real world. Now I've got a little small train behind me, which includes Rosberg and my teammate Mr. Maldonado. Just got to try and hold on to it now. There's my dodgy curve coming up. Probably slowing down a bit too much now because I'm a bit tentative and don't want to lose my position, especially not to Rosberg. And I want to go 2-1 up in the drivers' rivalry to get a chance of getting a contract with Mercedes next year. No real offers on the horizon. The only offers I got are from the back marker teams of Caterham, HRT and Marussia. So obviously I won't be taking those offers. I do have a contract renewal on the table, which I don't really want to take. I want to move to another team, but that's all I've got at the moment. Alonso goes even faster. I expect he's going to go faster again on his final lap. He's got a comfortable lead anyway. He's about 2 corners ahead of Mark Webber, so it should be a comfortable victory for him. I've increased the gap from the Mercedes to 1.8 seconds, so I'm getting slightly more comfortable. That train seems to be more behind Rosberg than anyone else at the moment, because I'm a little bit far ahead for it to be my train at the moment. Just gotta make sure I take these corners okay, because they can be a bit of a bitch, to say the least. I just gotta make sure I get around these Degner curves properly. Yeah, slowing down quite a lot. Back end sliding out. That's the trouble, you slow down too much, go over the curb, end up cutting the corner and getting crap on your tyres, and then going wide at the hairpin as well. I seem to be cracking a little bit under slight pressure, but that's just not been a great day anyway. I'm slightly irritated that I've dropped a few positions through mistakes, going off wide a couple of times, going to gravel. So not a very clean race at all. I mean, obviously if this was a longer race I could make up the positions over time, but it's only 13 laps due to me not having a better internet and being able to upload something longer within 6 hours. But hey ho. There you go, as I say, Alonso sets the fastest lap, wins the race, and I'm coming home in 7th. Ahead of Rosberg, but still not meeting my objective, so I'm a little bit disappointed. Could have done better. So Maldonado finishes 11th, and Rosberg was right behind us. Hey ho. It happens, but we're now 2-1 up in drivers' rivalry. Plus 6 points to cushion the blow. Cushion the blow? I don't know. So Lewis Hamilton ends up on the podium with Alonso. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Caterham's, well, Hulkenberg finished last because he did not finish. Dropped out at some point. Yeah, well, apart from Kimi Raikkonen being down in 12th, which is not a great day for him. There's nothing too amazing there. Fastest laps, yeah, we're all about similar. Yeah, Lewis Hamilton is leading the Drivers' Championship. Alonso is 14 points behind, but he's making a comeback after winning today's race. I'm in 7th, just behind Mark Webber on 99 points. Rosberg 75. And where is Mr. Maldonado? He is in 12th on 45. So let's see where we are in the constructors' standings. Let's see if Williams is any higher or lower. If Mercedes aren't doing that well, looks like we should still be on top on 144 points. Yes, we are. Getting a little sizable gap now, about 34 points ahead of Mercedes. McLaren and Mercedes are up top with 381, followed by Red Bull now. A little bit of a fight going on between 2nd and 3rd, Red Bull and Ferrari. So that'll be interesting to see how that develops in the final races of the season. So join me next time for round 16 in Korea. Have a good one, guys. See you next time.